Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make super easy keto strawberry rolls. These are basically kind of like cinnamon rolls, except for instead of a cinnamon filling inside, they have a strawberry filling inside. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. And if you are a music lover, make sure you check out the link in the description to my other YouTube channel, Inspirational Songs with Janet. I, of course, have posted another new song there, so make sure you check that out and click the subscribe button to that channel also. And while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line a 7-inch round cake pan with parchment paper or a silicone mat, then set it aside for a minute. For your filling, stir together 106 grams or around 3/4 cup of chopped strawberries. I'm using frozen strawberries. If you do use frozen strawberries, make sure they are thawed before you use them. Add 160 grams or around a half cup of keto strawberry jam. If you can't find keto strawberry jam or preserves, you can just make a thick strawberry sauce by cooking strawberries and some granulated sweetener with a little bit of xanthan gum or keto thickener for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the strawberries have released their juices and the sauce is thick. If you do make your own strawberry sauce, then just make sure that you cool it completely before you use it for the filling. Stir the chopped strawberries and the keto jam or strawberry sauce all together until everything is fully combined, then set it aside for a minute. For the dough, in a medium mixing bowl, combine 56 grams or around a half cup of coconut flour, 27 grams or around a 1/4 cup of oat fiber or bamboo fiber. If you don't want to use fiber, you can just use a little bit more coconut flour. Your texture will be slightly different, but it'll still work in this recipe. Add 50 grams or around a 1/4 cup of the granulated sugar substitute of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can adjust this more or less depending on how sweet you want your dough. Add 21 grams or around 3 tablespoons of ground flaxseed meal. I'm using golden flaxseed meal. I like the color and the taste of that better, but any flaxseed meal will work. Add 10 grams or around 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 3 grams or around 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. If you don't want to use xanthan gum, you can use about 2 teaspoons of psyllium husk powder. This is just going to keep your dough flexible so that when you roll it up into a spiral, it won't crack on you. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and if you want to, you can add some optional dry spices to give the dough a little bit of a different flavor. I'm just leaving mine as is. Sift the dry ingredients together until it's fully combined and there are no lumps, then set it aside for a minute. In a large mixer bowl, beat a half cup of room temperature softened butter on medium for about 45 seconds to a minute or until it is completely smooth. Scrape down the sides of your mixing bowl and push the butter to the center of the bowl. Add 2 large room temperature eggs and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then beat on medium speed for about 30 seconds or until the wet ingredients are fully combined. Reduce the speed of your mixer to low, then gradually add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. Do this just a little bit at a time and allow the dry ingredients to beat into the wet ingredients after each addition. You can stop and scrape down the sides of the bowl as needed. If you don't have a standing mixer, you can do this with a hand mixer or with a wooden spoon. Once the dry ingredients are all added and combined, then increase the speed of your mixer to medium-low and beat on medium-low for another 30 seconds or so or until a smooth dough forms. Scrape down the sides of your mixer bowl and form your dough into a ball shape. Then wrap the dough ball in some plastic wrap. Knead the dough for about 2 minutes or until it's smooth and flexible. Place the dough onto a lined work surface. Roll or press the dough out to a long rectangle that's about a 1/4 inch thick, give or take a bit. Doesn't have to be precise, you just want to make sure that it is the same thickness all the way across the rectangle. Take your strawberry filling and spread it evenly over the dough rectangle. Make sure you leave about a 1/2 inch of empty border around the edges of the rectangle so that when you go to roll up your dough, the filling doesn't squish out the sides too much. Once the filling is spread, start at the widest edge of your rectangle that's closest to you and roll the dough into a spiral over your filling. You can use the parchment paper underneath your dough to kind of help guide the dough into that spiral shape. You see me here, I'm using a silicone mat. It is much better to use parchment paper. I've used this dough for my cinnamon rolls and I've used the parchment paper, and it's much better to do it with that than a silicone mat. Make sure as you're rolling the dough that you keep the spiral tight and the dough nice and smooth. If you do get any cracks or anything, just dampen your finger and rub out any cracks. I like to let my filling run outside of the roll so the outside of the roll gets kind of a nice little strawberry kind of type glaze a little bit on the outside. But if you want to just keep your filling locked inside of the roll, that's up to you. Once it is all rolled up, make sure you use your damp finger and seal the seam up really well so that your filling doesn't gush all over. Cut your spiral dough log into 8 equal portions. Place the portions cut side up and side by side into your prepared pan. If the portions after they've been cut feel a little bit loose, make sure you just press them together really well into a circle shape so that the spiral layers can seal together a little bit. Once all the portions are in your pan, use your hand and just very gently flatten the tops of the rolls. This is just going to help seal the layers together so that it keeps the filling in a little bit better. Place the rolls in your preheated oven. Bake at 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes or until the rolls are golden and a tester comes out clean. Once the rolls are done baking, remove them from the oven. You can leave your rolls just like this as they are with nothing on the top. I topped mine with a little bit of melted keto white chocolate. If you don't want to top it with white chocolate, you can top it with the cream cheese icing that I've used for some of my other cinnamon rolls recipe. Or you can just do a light glaze like I do on my twist donut recipe. If you do choose to add a topping, make sure you let the rolls cool in the pan for about 5 minutes before you add the topping to your warm strawberry rolls. Either way, whether you're making them plain or you top them, allow the rolls to cool in the pan for about 1 hour so they can firm up. After about an hour and the rolls are firm, remove them from the pan and transfer them to a wire rack. You can serve these warm or at room temperature. All right, we are back with my lovely little strawberry roll. Check it out. Yummy looking, yes. Smells delicious. I love strawberries. It looks good, it smells good, it's nice and moist. That's the way we like it. We want it to be nice and moist. I actually made this yesterday because I wanted to see how it would store overnight. And it stored very nicely. It's still nice and moist just like it was when I first took it out of the oven. So let's taste this bad boy. That's very yummy. Very, very yummy. The texture is nice and smooth. I like the mix of the oat fiber with the coconut flour. I've made this dough before with my cinnamon rolls and I've used all coconut flour and that's good too. But I really like the texture and the taste with the mix of the coconut flour and the oat fiber. That really makes a nice texture. It makes the dough a little bit more light. And you can use any berry filling. You don't have to stick to strawberry. You can use blackberry, blueberry, a mix, whatever you want. But for this, for me, is a definite thumbs up. It's very, very, very tasty. Definite yes, will be made again. Tasty, tasty, tasty. You can eat these immediately. If you do have any leftovers, allow them to cool to room temperature. You can store them in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 2 days, or in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 5 days. Or in a freezer-safe airtight container in your freezer for up to 1 month. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.